No way, no how. They're not. And you know how the NBA works. To try to beat a team 4 times. You can beat them a couple times. And I'm going to be honest. This is going to be the Raggedy Andy edition of the Warriors. Here we go, trying to win 3 in a row. Takes a lot out of you, all those other playoff games. I mean, last night, normally you would say you're at home. You want to, end the series and finish it up.
They were 15-point favorites.
Right?
Niggas had them as 15-point favorites.
And what did they do? They didn't play defense. They gave up 129 points. The Clippers shot almost 55% from the field. I mean, it was just a bad effort all the way around. But these things happen, I think, when you try to win. The Lakers, when the last team to win 3 in a row, the Lakers, they went 15-1 the second year of that streak, and then they went 15-4. I'm just saying, I don't know what the Warriors will wind up losing, but there'll be a number of games on their way. I just don't think that you can beat them that many times. But we should give them credit. And what I'm saying is the Clippers, they are who we thought they are. They really are.
What did you think they were?
I thought, Skip, going back, Chris Broussard and I had a huge argument on the radio about this because when they came back from 28 points against Boston on the road after trading Tobias Harris, Chris was saying, oh, no, they're tanking. They're not going to make the playoffs. And I said, that's not a team that's tanking.
Right.
That's a team filled with...
So you thought they were...
So after that
tough.
game, I was like, this is a tough team.
Right.
There's no reason to come back from 28 on the road after you traded your best player. So then when they came back, and they came back against Detroit that same January by 25 on the road. Then when they won the game in Golden State by 30, were down by 31. So all I'm saying is they're playing for their franchise. They're playing for their lives. They're not going to win this series. They're not going to do anything. But if you're a free agent out there, possible free agent, and you're looking at this team, you might be KD across the way.
Might be.
Okay, taking a look saying, they got something going here.
They do.
Yeah, but when you come, they're going to have to give some of that up because you going to cost money.
No.
They got these guys cheap.
They still got a lot of cap room to go over. It might be. Everybody keeps talking about Kawhi Leonard. But I'm just saying this is about what happened last night is about the Clippers more than it is about the Warriors. The Warriors will win this series. I think the Clippers just showed who they are again, and I think the Warriors weren't ready again.
And yet you like the Clippers, but you give them no shot.
Not to beat them 4 out of 7.
Okay.
So
you give them any shot at home in Game 6?
I don't think that they're going. I think once again the way the Warriors responded after they were embarrassed again, they'll respond. They're good enough. They got the firepower.
How did they respond in Game 4 on Sunday afternoon?
I was at that game.
Okay.
I mean, it was pretty close. And then
pretty close. It was a 1-point game with 11 minutes left in the game.
And then what happened?
Then what did Lou Williams do after that? He went 0 for 5 in the fourth quarter. You like that?
He's not going to make.
Is that who you thought he was? Because that's not who I thought Lou Williams was.
But Lou Williams is a good player. He's a stud.
He's not a good player. He's a great player.
But you know how Skip is. If you're great, you got to make every shot that you take in the fourth quarter.
He's the greatest scorer off the bench in the history of this
NBA.
league.
It's true.
Okay? That's how great he is. Am I right?
You're right.
So what did we really see last night? We saw the Warriors, and again, I'm playing off what Steve Kerr, we just heard him say, we didn't play with the urgency. I saw great urgency from the Warriors in the first quarter. They made 8 of 10 threes. How many times are you going to make 8 of 10 in the first quarter? 8 of 10 three-point shots? Should that not send that other team on vacation early? Should that not be the end of that night for the...
Most teams it would, Skip. I agree with
this team, which is why Doc has said again and again, most resilient team I have ever coached. Mouthful from Doc Rivers. He's coached a whole bunch of basketball.
Won a championship,
right?
too.
So what happened to me was the Warriors on offense played a very good game last night, and it wasn't good enough because the Clippers played a better game. It was head-to-head. This wasn't an aberration. This wasn't a fluke. Game 2, you can say fluke. Down 31.
Biggest comeback in the history of the NBA, right.
All right. No fluke. Head-to-head. We beat you in your house. What have we seen routinely from the Warriors in their house this year? They've lost 8 games at home by 20-plus points. I'm sorry, 8 games total by 20-plus, 6 at home. 6 at home. They lost at home to Dallas by 35, to Boston by 33. there's something wrong with this team psychologically, internally. Maybe it's Draymond versus KD, the B-word incident. Something is amiss. And I told you the Clippers would win 2 games in this series, and now I don't see any reason why they shouldn't win Game 6. Am I going to bet on it? No, because the odds are, this is, as you always say, you got 4 players who can go for 40, right? and you do. But again, they're a troubled basketball team, and my gut is telling me they're not going to win Game 6. They're going to have to go win Game 7 at home. And that is going to be a spectacle because I don't think that'll be a cakewalk for them in Game 7.
You mentioned that Golden State made 8 of 10 3-points in the first quarter. And what they normally do is that it breaks your spirit. When they come out and shoot the ball like they shot it, but guess what? It's the old rumble in the jumble with Ali whispering and George Foreman there. That's all you got, Big George? Yep.
Yep.
So
well, hit me again.
Yeah. So the Clippers are like, that's all you got?
Yep.
Yep. That was it. Because you go 8 of 10 in the first quarter, you're expecting to be up, Skip, 10 to 15 points, maybe even 20. But you're up 4. You're up 4. So we took your best and we're still standing. Now because you didn't play any defense and you let us get our rhythm, now we're in the second quarter, we shoot 62%. You shoot 43%. And now what was a 4-point lead, now we go into the locker room, I think, with a 7 or 8-point lead at the half.
Okay.
And once they got a rhythm, and as you mentioned, Sweet Lou to the rescue, he was phenomenal down the stretch because he can get any shot he wants, he can get to the rim, and then you got Trez diving to the rim, and he's punishing folks.
Yep.
This is where they miss Boogie, Skip, because you can't play through Bogut. You can't play through Looney. You can play through Boogie, and Boogie's going to make Montrez work. So now all that energy that he has, he'll he'll have to expend some of it on the defensive end dealing with Boogie. He don't worry about anything. He's coming from the weak side, and although he might not block a shot, he's making you think. Okay. He's altering your shots.
But didn't you think Bogut would at least improve the defensive mentality and the rim protection?
Yeah.
They gave up 129 points at home.
Missing in action, absolutely.
But you know what now, Skip? Now all he does is sit hard picks. He'll draw a charge here and there. He'll get a rebound here or there. But they missed because they had already initiated and integrated Boogie into their offense.
Not that they can't win without Boogie.
Oh, yeah, they can. But it's going to be more difficult.
And this is the point I'm making. As you go for that third one, and you know what? It's a grind. I really believe that it's taken a toll on them, and they want to get to the finish line. I still believe you can't beat them 4 out of 7. I expect them to win the championship. I just think it'll be raggedy, Skip. It won't be the team that you saw a couple years ago.
The question last night, you say Greg Popovich said you have to have a healthy fear. Do you think the Warriors have a healthy fear? Going into last night, did they have a healthy fear?
Appropriate.
Appropriate fear.
Yeah, it is healthy. It's the same word. Yeah.
Do you think they thought the Clippers could beat them last night?
From all the quotes I read from Kevin Durant, he's just raving about their competitive spirit. He says, this is one opponent, I go home and I'm still thinking about what just happened in that game.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, they respected him.
Well,
now, Clay said after the game, we should do what we do in game 6.
But he also said, but you remember the other day, Skip, he's like, I see what Houston's doing. They're up 3-0.
Okay.
And we don't want them to get any more rest. They're not playing the Rockets. Why are you talking about them? And then he said last night, I was looking ahead, start with me. So that means, guess what? Somebody else, he wasn't the only one. He said, just start with him. He didn't say I'm the only one.
And I think also, even though they lost and the Clippers came back from that 31 points, they look at that as an aberration.
Right.
They looked at it like, okay, we didn't do what we were supposed to. They hit some shots. We lost that game.
Was this
we're
an
not going to lose
aberration?
again.
Was this an aberration? Fourth quarter, 2:40 left in the game. Kevin Durant dunks and puts Golden State finally up 1. Now it's are we there yet syndrome. Like, is that enough? You guys going to stop now? You going to quit?
Right.
Well, they're not going to quit. They go on a 12-3 run. The Clippers did to end the game, and Lou goes down and makes a 3-point shot, and Kevin fouls him.
Yeah, that 4-point, that was the dagger.
I don't think that was the dagger because that put him up 3, but then Steph goes down and dribbles into a turnover, which is just wrong. Was he gloating about that? Was he beating his chest over that turnover? Because he eats hot dogs every game. And then Lou comes back down and hits a second shot on Kevin Durant right in his face. Banks it up a little run.
He's the best player in the NBA.
Well, that's the point. That's a statement.
Little sweet Lou.
That's a statement, man. That's saying we ain't going anywhere. We're right here. We got you.
And then he got him again and dished it down the line, and here, down the lane, and here come Montrez.
If you're Kawhi Leonard and you just watch it, and you look at the Clippers.
He don't got a TV. He ain't watching.
Oh, he ain't watching.
Well, I'm with you about Kevin Durant. I'm looking across the floor saying, wait a second. If I want to live in L.A., maybe I should live with them.
That's what I mean.
Right?
And we know it's not above him to join a team in which he was up 3-1 on.
Oh, look at that.
What are you saying? Have it happened before? Have it happened before? Yes.
The Clippers would have to win, though, for him to join.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. That would be.
So the reason I am still favoring Houston to beat Golden State is Houston is playing defense at a high level. They held Utah to an average of 98 a game in those 5 games.
Utah ain't got no firepower, no skill.
Yeah, but Donovan Mitchell shot terribly in the game.
They got firepower when it fires.
Let me ask you a question. Is James Harden going to play like he did the first 3 quarters? Because that's 2 games, Skip. He played terrible in the first half and parts of the third.
You know what impresses me about him, and I agree with you. But at the end of the game, Rudy Gobert got a pass from Rubio, and he's going to dunk it.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-point game. He's going to put them ahead by 1 with, 15 seconds left. And James sneaks in there and snakes in and knocked the ball out of his hands. He can really disrupt on defense. This team has taken pride in its defense. It plays much better defense than Golden State is playing right now. Because Golden State's like average at best on defense.
I still can't. I'm still going with Golden State. I understand Houston is playing better, and they've looked shoddy at times, Golden State, but I want to see somebody, when they beat them 4 out of 7, I'll buy it.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Is LeBron already unhappy in L.A. For different reasons?
Jenny,
We'll
you
discuss
asking me? Uh-oh,
that
here we go.